We got some water for you.
You guys need to see stats.
Okay, we will get started. As we did yesterday, we will start off with a comment from Coach Barnes, and then we'll spend 10 minutes with the players, and then they will be dismissed. Coach?
I'm very happy. The game wasn't pretty at all times. I thought that, we struggled defensively in some points of the game. I think they hit some really big shots, tough shots. I thought first half the post players were way too comfortable inside, hitting some tough shots, but I think it was too easy in the beginning of the game. Then they got really confident. Usually I look at the stat sheet. I don't like the fact they shot 53%, but hey, it's March and I'm happy that we won. So I'll take it. It could be ugly, it could be whatever, but a win's a win. And this is a good way to start after being off a few weeks.
Thank you, Coach. And now we're opening it up for the student athletes.
Hi, this is PJ Brown from the Arizona Daily Star, and let's start with Kate. Kate, how did it feel out there today? It's been 3.5 weeks since you've played, and you put up 16 points and played some pretty good defense out there.
I was nervous. I was excited. I think my teammates did a great job of encouraging me. I think I missed some shots I normally wouldn't, but, I haven't played in a while, so I was a little rusty. But, my teammates did a great job of finding me, encouraging me, like I said, and I was just super excited to be back on the floor with them.
Front.
What were those first couple minutes for you? A little nerve-wracking or just being back out there?
I think just the game's having so much pressure. I'm always nervous for those. But, I was ready. My athletic trainers did a great job of getting me back and ready in rehab. So I was pretty confident in my abilities.
A reminder to give your name and affiliation when you ask your question. Thank you. Up front.
Kim Doss, Arizona Desert Swarm. You guys got that slow start again tonight. What do you have to do to not have that happen over and over and not have to come back like that?
I think our defense was a little bit lacking, like Coach Adia said in the beginning. They were too comfortable. They were hitting shots that, sometimes were tough. So I think just being that Arizona defense that we normally bring, we have to bring that from the get-go here on out. It's do or die, so we have to be ready.
And I think some of our problems in the first half was we weren't rotating. So we have a certain kind of defense, but then on the backside we have to rotate because, especially for trapping, so we know, trapping, you have two people on the ball, so you have a disadvantage 2 passes away. It's always an open shot, but for some reason we were stuck like glue on the weak side, and that's not what you do defensively. You help and rotate, but we didn't do that early, and I thought we did a better job. We adjusted. We changed our pick and roll defense because it wasn't working in the beginning, and I thought we did a way better job of containing them off the dribble later. But definitely going to work and look at that rotation.
PJ Brown, Arizona Daily Star, and this is for Shayna. Shayna, you 30 points that tied your U of A career high. The other time was, I guess, against ASU. Were you just feeling it tonight? Because you were doing everything out there. You had, I think you had 4 steals as well.
Yeah, I think I was just comfortable. Once I hit, especially when I start hitting threes, I feel like I'm really in my element. I'm like, okay, they can't guard me, especially when I was attacking the rim as well. I just felt super comfortable, and I think my teammates allowed me to do that. They gave me the confidence, they told me, keep going, they can't guard you. So that really helped me when I was on the floor.
Second row.
Alex Simon from the Knicks. Sam, at one point, everybody was in single digits, but Shayna was in the 20s scoring-wise. When you guys as an offense are struggling, what is she able to do to kind of help you guys unstruggle?
Yeah, it's really nice to have a player like Shayna where you feel like she can get to the basket at any moment easily. I know it's probably easier said than done, but Shayna makes it look so easy. So having someone like her able to drive in and get those layups, it really opens up the floor for us shooters and also the post players because people are going to have to sink in the paint now and try and guard her. And, she still gets it done inside even when they're there. So Shayna just does a great job. And then, obviously, once they started changing the rhythm, I think Kate started getting hot. We were able to get some more open shots.
Shayna, is it easier said than done?
Yes. It is easier said than done.
This is for Sam. Ryan Finley, Arizona Daily Star. Daren had a couple of big shots early. What has she meant just coming off the bench and stepping up big tonight?
Yeah, Daren earns her minutes every day in practice. We see her. She goes against Shayna every day in practice, it seems like. So, we were confident with putting Daren in. I feel like that's why Adia put her in, just because she sees what she does in practice. And Daren did a great job coming in today, giving us some quick points, playing defense, give Shayna a little breather, and kind of give us that spark off the bench that we needed to get out of the lull we were in.
Up front.
Troy Hutchison, GoAZCats.com. Shayna, you talked about your offense, but as Coach Barnes has pointed out before, you guys are a defensive team that leads to offense. When the game got close there, it seemed like you guys turned it up defensively. What led to that? Like, what was the difference from the first half to that point?
Well, like you said, in the first half, defensively, we kind of gave them a little too many options. Like, they were getting basically whatever they wanted. And when the game was on the line in the second half, we knew we needed to come together as a team and get some stops. In practice every day, we work on this thing where we do stops and scores. How many stops can you get? How many scores can you get? So I think it was just in the stretch, that was just what we needed to do. We needed to connect more stops with more scores so we could be successful in the end, and that's what we did. So.
And I'm wondering the same thing. Why do we wait till the third quarter to play defense? Because that sense of urgency that you saw on the ball pressure, we need to have that from the beginning. And we know that, I think, adjusting now, Kate coming back and different things, but that sense of urgency, we can't wait till we have a deficit, and we can't wait till the game's on the line or they make a run. We have to do that consistently, and we're capable. So a lot of people talk about that we struggle offensively. We're not going to turn into some high-powering offensive team. That's not us. So when people say the word struggle, it's who we are. It's who I choose to start. It's our strengths and weaknesses. And our strength is not going to go out there and score 100 points. We're not like Maryland, but we need to go and play defense and manufacture points for offense. So to me, it's never the struggle offensively. If you see UNLV, it looked like they were playing a zone, right? But they weren't. They were playing a sagging man, so they're not guarding us. So that doesn't mean because you're open, shoot it. That means reverse the ball, get movement, and that's some things that we have to do better. But we're not going to be some high-power, high-octane offense. That's just not who Arizona is.
Front.
Sam, or this is Kim from Arizona Desert Storm. But Sam, when your sister finally got in, how'd you feel about it?
I was relieved that the lead was up like that. I know her minutes are a little bit limited, so to know that she was going in when we had a pretty decent lead. It was nice to see her go in. She got to touch the ball a little bit. My family was obviously happy, and then she was guarding Maddie. She's known Maddie for a while, so they were probably talking over there joking. But it was good to see her get on the court first time in an NCAA tournament, so really happy for her, and then happy for us to move on to the next round.
On the side to the right.
Jordan Ham, Sports 360 AZ. Coach, what did you see out of Sam's effort on the defensive side, especially some things that might not pop up in the box score?
So what Sam does consistently, it never pops up in the box score unless it's those monstrous blocks. She had some phenomenal blocks today, but she's consistent. She's always in the right place. She usually guards one of the best offensive players from the other team. She does so many little things. A lot of times she may not get the steal, but her pressure and her placement leads to other steals. So the stuff she does, even when she's not scoring, it's very difficult to take Sam off the floor. And then she comes up with these hard blocks. Not too many guards in the country can block shots on a jump shooter or blocks the shots the way that she does. And in my opinion, she should have been Defensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, she's very, very underrated defensively, and she has been for her whole career here. She is a great defensive player, but she's not a flashy defensive player besides the block shots. But she is valuable, and she's a defensive stopper, and she cancels a lot of people. So her defense is extremely underrated and does not show up in every category on the stat sheet.
We'll take one more question in the room, and then we'll go to the people attending virtually.
This can be for anyone. I'm Master Wilson with the Daily Wildcat. Can you guys just speak about Lauren Ware's continued impact over these last 3 games? 9.7 rebounds, almost a double-double, and what that's meant for the team?
I mean, me and Lauren, we go against each other every day in practice. She's a great defensive player too. I mean, she gets great blocks. She's great rebounds. She's gotten so much stronger. She's more on balance, and that's something that all of us post players need to work on. So she stepped up big for us, especially when I was out. She did a great job. So I'm really excited that I get to play with her.
Okay, we'll move to a question for those attending virtually. Kurt Burmeister of TSN. Kurt?
Hey, this question's for Shayna. Kurt Burmeister, TSN Canada. Shayna, obviously you had a pretty big game in the final last year, and now you matched your season high tonight. What is it about this tournament, and I guess in the same vein, How do you take a game like this, and how can it help you going into the tournament playing that well in the first game?
I mean, I just come out into games just doing what I need to do. I mean, we have a scout. We want to execute it the best way we can. Whatever my team needs in the game, I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to put it all out on the line. Like, it's a win or lose situation. You lose, you're out. So you know what? I wouldn't be okay with, you know, knowing that I didn't give it my all. So every game I try to do that.
We'll have one more question for those attending virtually. Chantel Jennings from the Athletic. Chantel?
Hey, Adia, kind of a quick question for you and potentially Shayna. It looked like you were saying something with a bit of a smile or a laugh on your face after Shayna was shooting those technicals, the free throws from the technical. I was just wondering what you were saying to her, if you're able to share.
Okay, I'm going to share the whole story. What happens on the court stays on the court, but I'm going to share this to everybody. Okay, so we're talking on the side. Someone had a little bit of an injury, the person I was choosing for the free throw, and could not shoot. So then after that, I said, okay, who feels good about shooting? They all raised their hand. So I was, you know, we were kind of laughing about it because they were like, choose me, choose me, choose me. And then Lauren and I decided to choose Shayna. And I said, Shayna, you better make them or else you're going to do push-ups. So then Shayna went up and she made them, but then she missed the other two. But she made the important one. So it was kind of a joke because they all wanted to shoot it. So we were laughing about it. It was actually funny at the time. It doesn't sound funny now, but it was very funny, and we were joking. But I was glad she made them. She made the shots.
Okay, we will dismiss the players and then have 12 minutes with Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's not a real fire alarm.
I think they did it just to get everybody out, to be honest.
They did it last time.
We don't usually do fire alarms to get people out.
No. Okay, we'll open it up to for questions for Coach Barnes. Up front.
Following up on that question about Daren, Nettie got a lot of, minutes when the game was still in doubt. How'd you feel about bringing in those young players tonight?
I felt good, but then we gave up a couple and ones, and I think those are the young mistakes that we can't make because the game, it was still a game. I mean, a minute's a long time if you're up 6 points. So those mistakes can't happen, but those are teaching moments for me. So I have to tell Nettie, those aren't things, you don't go for the foul in that situation. Or Gisela, but they're freshmen, and they're the future, and they both have a tremendous amount of potential. But just learning when and where to do stuff, when to pop back, and knowing on the scout it specifically says what 45 does and how she scores. So the first possession, she comes and she spins, and so you have to know personnel, and that's a moment that I have to teach them. But I can't sub in players and we give up 2 or 3 and ones. I think that's just not what we can do. So, yeah, they may not go in as early now. That's just a learning moment. This is March, and it's one and done. So, unfortunate.
Coach, Ryan Finley here at the Daily Star. What did Daren do, and has she done in practice during this playing time?
So, Daren is tremendous in practice every single day. Daren plays with 100%. She plays with her heart. Her and Shayna go at it and battle every single day, and she's helped Shayna become a better player. I think that she deserved that, and I thought that she gave us really good minutes at Stanford. She came in and she was solid. So I believe in her. Sometimes it's just difficult because she's playing behind Shayna. Shayna's a really good player. Then she's playing behind Helena, who's a really good player. It wasn't Helena's night. She was a little passive when she came in, so I wanted someone to have a little bit more ball pressure, and I know what I'm going to get from Daren. So Daren came in, did that. She was solid. So then that's how you earn a few more minutes the next time. So Daren's been great. And I think what I love about Daren and the things I love about players is she never complains. She doesn't ask, Coach, why aren't I playing? How do I play more? She gives it her all every single day and just gets better. And then, I'm proud of her. So she will earn more minutes. I just don't know when and how, but she will, and I'll find that because I like what she does.
Second row.
Coach, just wanted to get your thoughts on the hometown crowd and having that atmosphere when you didn't have that last year in the postseason run.
Yeah, incredible. It was funny because you forget about that because I feel like last year it was just a long year. It feels like it was 2 years ago. But Trinity Baptist, she came back and she said, Coach, I never got to see what Arizona crowd was like, and that didn't dawn on me till she said it. And I'm like, oh yeah, because she played here. We talked about that. That was one of the things I recruited her, and I said, you're going to play in front of 10, 15,000 people. COVID, I didn't think COVID would last that long, so she didn't get to experience that until today as a fan. So, that's one of the special things about Arizona. There's a lot of men's basketball cities. that draw a lot. And I think Arizona is a basketball town. And so for us to draw, and I'm telling you, if it wasn't spring break for a lot of schools and there wasn't COVID, we would have sold out. And I'm very confident that I think we'll sell out on Monday. But people love women's basketball here, and there's very few places in the country where you can draw 10. I think I would guess 12,000 people. How many were here? Okay, so 10. So I think that not a lot of places can do that, and we are a special place because we can do that. Because when you have the chance to play in front of that type of crowd, it ignites you, it's energizing, and it's just an incredible atmosphere. And then I said red out like 2 days ago, and everybody wore red. So I think those things are incredible, and our players do a good job of engaging the fans, and the fans love our team. So I love that as a coach.
Next question.
Alex Simon from The Next. Obviously, you've scouted UNLV up to this week, but now that you've faced them on the court, what can you speak to kind of what Lindy has built there and built so rapidly within 2 years to be, with you guys deep into the fourth quarter tonight?
Yeah, I think Lindy's done a tremendous job. There was no doubt in my mind that she was going to be successful. She learned from one of the best, and that's Tara. So she learned from her as a player, and then she learned from her as a coach. So there wasn't any doubt in my mind that she was going to ice and not guard, play the percentages and stuff, because that's what Tara does. But she's a great coach. She's turned the program around. I mean, first NCAA tournament in 20 years. I think that shows to what her work. A very good team, well coached. They run good offense. They're organized. So I think she's doing a great job. I think that UNLV is gonna have to try to keep her home. Otherwise, she's gonna probably move to a bigger school in a couple of years. But I think she's doing a good job.
Hey, Coach. Cole Johnson, KYMA TV, back here in the back. You guys obviously went on an incredible run last year to the title game. Usually it takes some kind of spark to go on a kind of run like that. Was there anything in tonight's game you may have seen that could really launch you guys to that kind of a run again?
The difference between this year and last year was an X factor named Ari McDonald, who was unstoppable, who got really hot in the tournament. I think that I saw spurts of our defensive pressure that can bother teams. So when I scouted, I watched like 6 games at UNLV. UNLV hadn't faced a team with pressure like ours, but we didn't consistently do that for 40 minutes. So if we want to go back to the championship game, we can't play defense like that. We can't allow UNLV to shoot 53%. That's just not realistic for us to do that and have success. We aren't a team that's going to go out and score 90 points. We are. That's not what we're capable of doing. But we're capable of holding a team to 50. I'm not happy that we gave UNLV 67 points. We won't win like that against better opponents as we get deeper in a tournament. So we have to be lockdown defenders. So if we don't score in spurts, then they can't score. Just a little bit better rotation, better ball pressure, those kind of things. So, I saw glimpses of that. I didn't see that consistently, and that's what you have to do. We have to be more consistent. And I think that some of the things that we're missing this year from last year was people didn't realize how valuable Trinity was. Trinity gave us muscle and strength inside, and really dominant on the ball, defending, dominant in the post. We're missing that a little bit. Our personnel is just different. And then Ari was she was basically almost guarding you out of bounds, and she was pressuring full court, and she manufactured a lot of steals. So we were missing that. And Shayna's capable of doing that, but she has to do that consistently for more time. So just a little bit better and stronger, and I think more of a dog mentality. We've been missing that at times this year, and I'm looking for that and waiting for that. And it can't just be 20 minutes or 25 minutes. It has to be 40. So we just don't have that yet.
Front row.
Hi, Dia. PJ from the Arizona Daily Star. The other day you said, it's a collective, right? Everybody has to step up. You had really good performances from a lot of people, but especially Shayna. Shayna really seemed to show more of who she is. She did a lot of different things out there on both sides of the ball.
She did.
And is this the Shayna that we should be seeing day in and day out?
Yeah, it is. And I think defensively, I got on her because her defense was not good in the first half. She was 10 feet away from the ball on traps, not good. So then, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I also put Daren in, because sometimes that makes Shayna go a little bit harder. So you see she came in after that and played harder. So sometimes some of those subs are strategic. But I think that Shayna's capable of pressing the ball like Ari did. Shayna's a tremendous athlete, but I think that she has to believe she can do that because she has the ability to do it. And honestly, I didn't even realize she had 30 points. I knew she was scoring, but I felt like she was missing a lot of layups, but she really wasn't. I look up and I saw the 30. But you have to understand how difficult that was. So Shayna's being defended, and she's being defended from me to you. So they weren't guarding her. They were going under on every single on ball, and they were deep plugging. So when Shayna tried to drive, there was 2 players there, and she still found a way to get there. So she worked very hard for these 30 points. But I think that she did a good job, and she's our catalyst on offense and on defense. So if Shayna goes, we go. And when she's really stagnant with the ball, we're stagnant. So I need this from Shayna. I expect it from Shayna. Maybe it's not 30 points, but I love the fact that she was 10 for 19. She had 4 assists, 4 steals, and 0 turnovers. That's not how she would have been in the beginning of the year. She would have had 4 turnovers. So she's doing a good job of running our team, and they're following her. But we need her to be aggressive. Now, the other people that we have to turn to, Sam can't take 2 shots in the game. We can't win like that. And then Lauren, we have to give her some more shots, but everybody's in the paint. So with some of the lineups, we may be a good defensive lineup, but then offensively, we're not guarded a lot. So it's really hard to run offense. But Shayna has to get us in transition and get us going downhill, because if we're just in the half court, it's like everybody's in the paint. It looks like a zone. And then you go to screen, but there's no one in the screen. So we have to figure that out and be able to put shooters in that can defend and then loosen up the defense. But those are our challenges, and they have been all year.
Got time for a couple more questions in the back.
Javier Morales, All Sports Tucson. Adia, seems like you guys missed a lot of close-range shots, and just what were you thinking about that as the game went on? It seemed like you guys are starting to make those more. And I'm sorry if anybody hasn't asked about Onkate Reese yet. What are your thoughts about her? How she came on strong?
I thought she did great. Her shot was a little bit short a couple times on the perimeter. I thought her energy, her enthusiasm, I thought she played great. People ask if she's 100%. Yeah, she's 100%. But she hasn't been. She's been out, and she does have an injury. It is what it is. But she played hard. She's not hesitating at all. She has a little brace on. So what she brings us, just her presence is more valuable than even her points. Just you have to guard her. She's aggressive. I thought sometimes a couple times she forced it when I want her to move the ball, but I like the fact she's trying to score, because sometimes we don't have anybody trying to score. So she brings that to us. So we're better with her. We would have won more games towards the end of the season if she would have been playing. And I think Lauren stepped up big time. When Kate was out, Lauren was a presence. Lauren's playing so much stronger, and I think Lauren's another player that can be in double digits. She could have had a double-double tonight. We need that from Lauren. So I was talking to PJ earlier in the weekend. We don't have an X factor. There isn't one person that's just going to come out and score 30, 40 points all of a sudden, but it's by committee. So that means Lauren has to give a little bit more. That means Coy has to come and play better defense. Bendu has to attack and hit those shots. So everybody has to do their job a little bit better this time of year, because we don't have a star. If you think of all the top teams, everybody usually has a go-to player that they can pass the ball in and score, and we're just different. That's okay. We have multiple players that can do different things, and that's what I like about the team.
Alex Simon from the Knicks again. Obviously, you had to win to know that you were going to play again, but what do you know about North Carolina, and kind of what do you think is going to be an important thing for you guys to do if you're going to emerge victorious Monday?
Yeah, so North Carolina is really good in transition. They have some really good guards. Obviously, I know Deja Kelly from the recruiting process, and she played for a friend of mine for AAU. So she's a good player. They play a shorter bench. They play 7 people a lot. I think we're going to get zoned. And that's just kind of what they do a lot. It's going to be a hard game. But I think one thing I like, and one thing that we play well, we usually shoot the ball better at home, but we're playing in front of probably a sold-out McHale. So that is our 6th man. We're very hard to beat at home. We've lost, one game here in the last year. It was UCLA this year when Kate got hurt first game after she was hurt. So I bet on us at home. I think I don't take North Carolina lightly. They're coached well. They have some good players, but we're also good, and we didn't play our best today. So I think that's going to be a good game. But right now we're seeing across the country there's a lot of upsets. So it is what it is. If we don't show up and we don't play and put together 40 minutes of basketball, we're not going to win, and that's the reality. But I think we're very confident and capable at home. So I like the matchup.
Okay, we'll move to a question from our virtual attendees. Chantel Jennings from The Athletic.
Hey, Adia. This is kind of a good follow-up to that, because you were just sort of mentioning the parity of the game, and I kind of have a big picture question about that. We talk so much about the parity in the game and sort of how every year it gets better. This year, 6 double-digit seeds are into the second round. I think the record for that tournament is 7. But I'm curious if in your coaching career, if there's anything specific you can point to as to why the parity has gotten as good as it is now. Is there something at the grassroots level? Is there specific investment that you've seen? Is there something about the visibility that you point to and say, like, that's a huge reason why the parity is where it is now?
So the difference that I see in the last like 10 years is, or last 5 years, I'd say more, is 10 years ago, 10 years ago, like when Diana Taurasi was coming out and all those great players, everybody that was really good went to UConn. If you came from California, you were going across the country going to UConn. So I think all the good players went to a couple places. I think that now a lot of West Coast kids are staying on the West Coast. People are staying closer to home, and I think that COVID is a factor in that. I think that now after COVID, people don't want to be far from home. I think there's a lot of different reasons. But I also think if you look at like South Carolina, a lot of players want to go and build something different. So players recruit other players. So if you see, I think they have like 12 All-Americans, but you saw a couple good ones from an AAU club go there. Then they recruit their friends, and they say, hey, let's go win here. It wasn't like that years ago. It was like, you're going to go to UConn because you knew with UConn, statistically, you were probably going to go to a Final Four, win a championship. Now it's different, and I think coaches have moved around. I think there's more former players coming up and coaching. So the process is different. So I like that. And I like the fact that for us in the Pac-12, I like the fact that we're representing, so there's going to be 3 of us still in the tournament. And I like the fact that we can keep good West Coast kids at home, and that's really important. We have a geographical footprint, and we recruit, and keeping those kids in the Pac-12 and home is important, and that's just important for our league and our basketball.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Yep.
We do know the time for Monday. It's a 7 p.m. tip-off.